After the appointment, it is so important that you do not expose your lashes to water or steam for 3 full days. I know some people say 24 hours, but in my experience, 3 days is optimal. You really do want that adhesive to cure over the longest, slowest time possible to get a really strong yet flexible bond there. There's a lot of different thoughts about this here, but over my career in lashing, I definitely have had a lot of issues with clients who submerge their heads, or they get stuck in a rainstorm after having lash extensions, or they head into a hot tub before 3 days. So I always use the benchmark of 3 days now with my clients, and I find that most clients I'm able to coach to 3+ weeks retention with over 40% remaining. It's definitely by following all these rules. I would definitely recommend that you still coach your clients for 3 days with no water or steam. And as a client, if you're looking for the best retention possible and to save money and time, let's stick to 3 days, no water or steam. It's okay to use your sealant in those 3 days, and I definitely recommend it. Most sealants are formulated so that they don't affect the lash adhesive. So once you leave your lash appointment, go through and you can definitely seal those lashes. It's almost best to, actually, because you're not going to be able to wash them for the first 3 days. So if you're able to get that sealant on there, it's going to give a protective barrier against all the other things like setting sprays, perfumes, lotions, concealer, hairsprays, all those things that you're going to want to do and use within those 3 days, but you're not going to be able to wash them off of your lashes in those 3 days because you're not going to be able to get them wet. So please, please, please still continue to use your sealant right after your appointment. At our studio, we recommend the LASH Crystal Drop Sealant. We did have the black sealant before. I found clients aren't able to get up into their lash line close enough to where the lash adhesive really is. With the Crystal Drop, it's clear, so there's no problems with smudging a black product all over your lash line. That a black sealant, it's going to be really hard for them to wash off of their skin. It's nearly impossible. And so it's really hard for them to actually get the sealant up where it needs to be, right in the lash line, where the bonds of the adhesive are to the natural lash. So I would definitely recommend you use a clear lash sealant to recommend to your clients, because it will allow them the flexibility to get up in there. As a client, you definitely want to make sure that you're applying this sealant on clean lashes wherever possible so that you're not sealing in the dirt. So last but definitely not least, the daily habits that you want to cultivate for the best lash retention are to use Latisse for stronger, longer lashes. If you have a very fast lash growth, then skip out on this. We don't want you to be coming in for a fill more often than necessary because your lashes are going into overdrive and growing out way faster. But if you have weak or even normal lashes, using Latisse can help you get a stronger natural lash, which will in turn give your lash extension the ability to be on a stronger foundation. It can also hold longer lengths better. So if you are wanting to go longer with your falsies, then you can definitely use products to be able to build a stronger natural lash. Next, we definitely want to highlight that if you do cry, I know it happens, it's just so necessary to immediately wash the tears out of your eyes. There is nothing that ruins a nice set of lashes more than tears. I don't know why, but something about it will definitely ruin them, especially if you have volume lashes. They will never fluff out. I know it's so hard to remember in the moment, but if you are able to, please head to the washroom, give them a quick rinse, and if you can, dry them and do a little brush, but at least please rinse them out so the tears are gone. Also really important to avoid oils. Oil breaks down most lash adhesive, so we definitely want to be avoiding that in our eye area. If you have an oily skin, using a wipe to control the oil around your skin is very valuable because it will take the oil from around your eyes. Also, an oil blotting sheet can be very helpful there because it will just pull that off. Especially in the summer, the oil won't be running down into your lashes. It's obviously very important not to rub your eyes and not wear mascara. If you feel the need to wear mascara, we should be adjusting your styling. Volume, hybrid, mega volume, these are all great options. Mascara is not one of them at all. Please don't do it. Something you might not have considered that is really important too is to eat a balanced meal. Keto is typically the worst for lash retention. It causes acidity on your lash line, which will cause the adhesive to have a negative chemical reaction. Keto, if you have to do it, you might want to wash your lashes more often to make sure you rebalance the pH of your skin. Daily use of lash sealant is highly recommended after washing your lashes with lash wash. Please never, ever, ever use your hands. I know we hear this a lot. It's never touching the eyes with your hands. Just always with either a lash wash brush or your actual spoolie brush. Those are the only recommended things to touch your lashes. And absolutely never use a cotton pad or a face cloth because those are going to catch on your lashes and pull them right out. If you are a tosser and turner, you can also sleep with a bubble eye mask. There's also a lot of girls that will take this bubble eye mask and insert it through their ponytail, if you can picture that, so that it won't fall off their face in the middle of the night. A satin pillowcase can also work really great. Optimally, we want to try and avoid tossing and turning, but if you do toss and turn, then at least use one of those two tools to try and control the damage on your eyelashes. So I hope that you guys have learned a lot of valuable things in this episode. Definitely everyone should be getting 3 weeks. If you're not getting 3 weeks, there are issues with either the styling, the products you're using, or daily habits and routine that can be fixed to save you time and money. Also, don't forget to brush those lashes daily. Just like you would never leave the house without brushing your hair, make sure you brush those lash extensions to keep them fluffy and sitting in the correct directions to avoid twisting and breakage that way. Don't worry if you see a lash or two in the sink afterwards. This is totally normal. Just like you wouldn't think that you're going bald when you look at your brush and you see some hair left after you brush your hair, you are not going bald with your lash extensions either. Likely these were ready to fall out and you're just helping them exit your natural lash line with natural lash growth. There's one exception to this, and it's within the first 24 hours of your lash appointment. If you get your lashes done and you happen to think maybe they're a little bit too bold for you, I know some clients will go through and they will brush very vigorously to try and prematurely shed the lashes. But what that actually is doing is creating a little bit of weakening in your adhesive because you don't want to be disturbing the bonds during that time. So if you go through and do this, yes, you are going to prematurely shed your lash extensions. You might feel a little bit more comfortable with them for the first week. We do want the first week to be just on the touch of more glamorous so that your lash extensions are going to last you for about 3 weeks. Because if they aren't a little bit too glamorous on the first week, then you're not going to be able to get through 3 weeks. Remember, it's a combination of what you do before, during, and after your appointments that will give you the lash retention of your dreams. So don't forget to check out the other 2 episodes we have in this little mini series for you, because it's truly the combination of all of these things that is going to give you your optimal lash retention.